Hi everyone. So another Flintshire market update from Keystone. Got Sammy, got Lee here. Obviously I'm Ben. So let's get started, guys. What's been happening this month out there in the market?
Well, first of all, talking about MAs, the desire and the need for us to be called out and go and perform valuations has certainly dipped.
It's natural though this time of year, isn't
Exactly. That reflects on what happened last year as well.
Yeah.
However, from a sales point of view,
Yeah, it's just rocketed. Sales have been absolutely chaos. We're selling houses left, right, and centre over here. So
I can't believe it. I mean, for the month of November, we did say last month, didn't we, that we thought we were going to have a good November.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of properties coming onto the market. But to do 23 sales on the 24th day, it's almost one a day, which is just crazy. So, I mean, a massive hats off to you guys, and that obviously Sophie, Beth, and Jill, and the rest of the team here. I mean, amazing.
Yeah,
really good month.
We've had offers out of our ears for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Should we deep dive into the stats themselves and just give the viewers a good idea of what's been going on? So, Lee, do you want to go through what's happening with new instructions this month?
so with regards to instructions, then Rightmove Plus shows us that we're currently on 11. However, we know that number's not quite correct. We're actually on 7. And that is down to the fact that the way we launch our product and the way the figures are calculated by Rightmove Plus, they're a little bit behind. So we're currently on 7 for the month so far. Across the board, Flintshire is 141 new instructions. With regards to last year, there were 7 instructions so far in November, and again across Rightmove Plus, there were 165 new instructions. And of course, the takeaway from this is broadly level with last year. Flintshire overall is down year on year, and we remain competitive on the market share despite the softer start.
So, sales agreed. This is the biggie. Sammy, take it away.
It has been absolutely mayhem in a good way here in the office. So this year in November, as we said at the start, we're on 23 sales. So that's the highest in Flintshire. So across the board, I think there's 149 sales so far. Whereas this time last year, Keystone were only on 12 sales. So we've pretty much doubled our sales this month compared to last year. Last year in Flintshire, there was 139 sales across the board. So we're only actually up 10. So although we're not up that much, we've definitely doubled our sales.
Yeah.
And probably one of the best months for us this year.
Yeah,
by
so
far,
far.
I think. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if it carries on, we might even have the best month we've had. So, crazy.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fantastic. New buyers registering, that's up as well for Keystone. So 120 new buyers came into the system this month from the 1st to the 24th, which is great. 85 last year, so that's up. So buyer demand definitely is still there, despite what the national market is saying. There's still plenty of buyers out there. The key thing is pricing, just making sure that those prices are right. We'll go on to that a little bit more in a second, because I want to talk about guide pricing and why that's so effective. Let's continue with the stats then.
So with regards to viewings then, we've had 139 viewings this month in comparison to 105 last year, which shows again there's an increase in confidence for buyers out there.
And price reductions, they're actually down significantly this year. On the market in Flintshire, in this time period last year, there was 113 price reductions. This year, only 65. Now, that may well indicate better pricing from agents, more sensible pricing. I feel sometimes that, you know, we're sort of leading the way in terms of the way we price properties and things like that. Maybe more agents out there are getting a little bit more sensible with the pricing now, and there's no need to be bringing the price down further on into the process. It's key, really, And it leads me nicely on to guide pricing and why that's so effective. So, Sammy, do you want to tell the viewers what we do and why it's so effective?
Yeah, so some of you might know already, we now do a guide price rather than a fixed asking price or offers over. Reason being, it gives a buyer a clear indication of what our vendors would and wouldn't accept. It also tests the demand of the property and also enables our vendors to get the best possible price in terms of sales. So it creates competition, it creates interest, keeps the momentum going, and it leaves our vendors happy.
The key thing is that trying to create competition for our vendors. So, you know, we tend to try to price sensibly with a guide price probably at the lower end of what the, you know, vendors perhaps willing to accept. But obviously if there's demand there then, and there's competition and we're in the early days of the marketing, then we're going to be looking for the top end of the range.
Yeah.
So for example, say we put a guide price of 200,000 on a property, but then we're inviting offers between 200 and 220. Well, in the first month or so of the marketing, there's no way that the vendor's going to be accepting 200,000. It's going to be towards the top end of that guide price, especially if there's other interest and there's people booking viewings and things like that. So it's just a matter really of educating the buyers out there on the process, which we do when people ring in to book a viewing. We make them aware of what the price is and how it works. When we're on the viewing itself, we can answer any questions about that. It's a new way of doing things, which has been really successful for us. We introduced it last February, and the proof's in the pudding. I mean, the sales this year have been absolutely phenomenal for Keystone. We've smashed all of our targets already for the year. So it really does show that it's the right way to do things and the way forward, I feel.
Yeah.
Let's not forget as well that we also still have that unique pre-market period to make sure we're getting that price range right from the word go.
And we're measuring the demand, we're measuring how many people are coming in. We can see online how many people have actually been looking at your property, how many times it's been clicked on, who's been clicking on it. We can talk to those people, get some feedback on the price. It's all about when it actually launches onto the full market, onto Rightmove, that we've got the price right by then, and people can see, you know, it's competitive. That's the key word, is you've got to make that price competitive in this market at the moment. There's a lot of competition on the market. There's a lot of other properties on the market, perhaps similar to yours. So it's key to really make sure that yours stands out, not only in the presentation, which obviously we do very well, I feel, with the first look videos and everything else that we do, but on price as well. And that's what this is all about with the guide price and the range.
Yeah.
So it works very well.
So to round up this month's market update, we're going to ask a very controversial question. What do we think about launching on Boxing Day? Do we think it's a good or a bad idea?
Now, that is a controversial one, because we know that quite a lot of our competitors are making a big deal of this. Now, I have been an advocate of it in the past, I'll admit that. But as I have evolved as an estate agent, and I talk to many amazing agents up and down the country, obviously, you know, with what I've done at EAX and in London and everything else, and I don't actually think it's that good of an idea anymore. And we've talked about this, so you take it away, Lee. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big factors that we're led to believe is this huge, big spike in traffic on Boxing Day. However, looking deeply into that, that's in comparison to the day before, which of course is Christmas Day. Who's going to be looking for property on Christmas Day? So we're slightly led down the wrong path, really, with those stats, because it truly doesn't indicate what the reality is.
I mean, just to give you some stats with this will amaze you. Rightmove currently, and I don't think this is going to last forever, because you know my feelings on on Rightmove and now what's going to happen to it in the future. But that's a conversation for another day. They currently have 10 million visitors a year. That's falling, by the way, quite rapidly, and there's reasons for that. However, only 1 million homes are sold across the UK. So 1 out of 10 visitors actually end up buying a house or selling a house or whatever they're doing. There's only 1 million, around about 1 million houses sold every year, and they have 10 million visitors. So there's 9 out of 10 people actually just browsing properties, which is great. I mean, I know that it's something that people do, but maybe more people are bored at home between Boxing Day and New Year, and it's not actually
toys everywhere.
Real buyers that are actually browsing on Rightmove. And I wouldn't delay. If you're looking to sell your property, put it on the market, especially now, because especially with other agents delaying till Boxing Day, there's less competition out there.
Yeah.
So.
And on Boxing Day, it's all about quality, not quantity, whereas everyone's going to be looking, but they're not actually going to be buying. They're not going to have their mortgage in principle ready. They're not going to be motivated buyers. They're literally just scrolling for the fun of it because everybody's got the time on their hands. So
the other thing, remember, so they're saying that all this massive increase in traffic between Boxing Day and New Year, how many agents are actually open or open to take the calls on Boxing Day? That's another question.
Can you get a viewing?
Can you get a viewing? Can you ring up and get a viewing on Boxing Day?
Can you instruct your solicitor?
Can you? No, exactly. So it's all a bit of PR hype, I feel, if I'm being really honest with you. And my advice to anybody out there, if they're looking to sell, put your house on the market ASAP, because there's far less competition, and everything's open now. We can get viewings, and you can strike while the iron's hot with viewings, rather than Boxing Day, where there's going to be limited opening hours for agents, and you might not get a viewing until the New Year.
Yeah, no one wants to do a viewing, do they? Around Christmas when they've got time off with the family.
Exactly. So yeah, that rounds it all up for this month. I hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit controversial, but it's been a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.